And the favourites, the former Olympic champions, Ekaterina Gordeeva and Sergei Grinkov, are ahead, but the reigning Olympic champions are just behind them in second. The world champions are in third. We've got plenty to look forward to. We'll be joining the top contenders in just a moment, but first let's look at the free programme of Britain's Jackie Soames and John Jenkins. The commentators are Barry Davis and Alan Weeks.
On the ice, representing Great Britain, Jackie Soames, John Jenkins.
Jackie Soames and John Jenkins didn't compete in the Europeans this year, competed last year and were 12th and were 16th in the world. They were 16th after the technical programme here. Nice height on that single twist. And she only just managed to hold on to the landing on the double axel. A slow spin, but the timing was very good. As was the overhead lift. The death spiral was quite high on a back outside edge. Salko. Speeding up, a minute to go. And he mislanded the double hooks. Another death spiral, this time on a forward inside edge to wind up the program. Jackie and John. Smoothly skated, but unfortunately 2 errors in the program. The bad landing by Jackie on the double axel, and then the bad double lutz by John. But the flowers coming onto the ice and being well received.
They left the crowd with a good impression at the end. Their best lift at the end, and the death spiral at the end was their best too. That was the twist. And that was the problem for her on the axle. But they're likely to keep their place, I would think. That was a very nice lift. Pretty confident in movement, and it was a good dismount.
On the ice representing Australia, Daniel Carr and Stephen Carr.
The Australian champions, Danielle and her brother Stephen Carr, in the 1992 Winter Olympics. They were 13th, gone up in the world, 11th last year, and now after the technical program they're lying 10th. That was a unique death spiral, and still going. Well, that's quite different. Never seen that before. Salto, and it came off well. Double loop, managed to hold on to it, and into a death spiral again. combination of spins. Three little jumps, double salto, double toe loop at the end. Their timing is good. As are those overhead lifts. And a fairly unique finish as well. Well, Danielle and Stephen, I don't think I've seen them skate as well as that before in a World Championship or an Olympic Games. Very smooth indeed. Their timing was very good. They moved through it all, and that death spiral, of course, was quite unique. Just something we have never seen before. As some of the other things that they did, rather like the finish. So that was good by the Australians.
Well, originality from start to finish. Certainly the best that they've done. Nice balletic style, times. Death spiral. Look at that, change of the edge. Beautifully done, and it continued from there. Really a wonderful start to the program. All the jumps came off. Landed together, the axle. Anybody who's been following them would know that they've been showing marked improvement, a couple of top 10 results in the pre-Olympic competition here and in Skate Canada. They were in fact 7th and 5th respectively. 14 times national champions in Australia, and without question their best, as Anna Week said, their best performance at world level. With a very good technical program with the music of Teufel, the Skaters Waltz, and now in the free program. Let's see how the judges feel about it. 5-1 from Germany, 4-7 from Ukraine, and the crowd feel that they're worthy of better. Australian judge, I recall, Mr. Donald McKnight, gives 4.8.
4-9, 4-7, 5-0, 5-0,
5 from the United States and Canada, 5 ladies and 4 gentlemen among the judges. Artistic impression. And again, 5-3 from Germany is the high point. 1 or 2 of the 4 seem a little bit hard, but it's a battle of whether they're going to stay in the top 10. 1 or 2 variations among the judges.
Ja, det var en väldigt fin prestation av dem. Ett ungt par.
Jaha, det blir mer Lloyd Webber. Jesus Christ Superstar. Det gick bra för det här paret, som du sa i förra, också på EM i Köpenhamn. De kom 8 där.
Ja, det är fint. Oj, vilken höjd.
trodde hon skulle gå omkull där.
Ja. Hon kom ner väldigt hårt på ytterskäret och det är väldigt skickligt tycker jag att kunna koncentrera sig så och hålla ett sådant nedslag.
Ja, hon upphävde nästan tyngdlagen där.
Ja. Också en fin position. Det är svårt att inte ligga bara rakt upp i luften i de här lyften utan att kunna vinkla kroppen. Också ett fint lyfter Sergei. Det som kanske stör lite i det här paret, det är väl att han har lite dålig hållning. Oj, det var en trippeltransport där hon lyftade och hamnade på magen i landningen. Det måste vara svårt för henne med de här kastlyften eftersom hon är så väldigt lätt. Hon måste ju flyga iväg bara. Tappade rytmen lite grann i den där piruetten. De har ett högt tempo rakt igenom programmet.
Han skjuter ibland upp ena axeln på ett höga estetelse.
Ja,
ibland bägge axlar. Dubbelaxel ibland.
Ja, det är synd. Så det står faktiskt lite grann.
Ja, Lettland har ju aldrig haft ett bättre par än det här.
Nej. Och de kommer säkert att bli riktigt bra om några år.
Elena, Berezhnaya, Oleg, Shliakhov. Det är väl antagligen lettländare som har ryska föräldrar, kan man gissa. Som har slagit sig ner i Lettland och blivit kvar där.
Nu ser vi ett kastfritt där. Och det var det som hon föll på. Hon öppnade för tidigt alltså så att hon kunde inte hålla landningen.
Mikhail Dvej heter han.
Och han har faktiskt varit domare under många år för Sovjetunionen.
så pass höga poäng att de kanske går upp i ledningen. Det beror på vad de får för betyg här av domarna. Den andra avdelningen. Fortfarande ligger Australien lågt, 4,8 den här gången.
De sänker lite grann här i B-poängen. Och det beror naturligtvis på att det var en hel del missar och också fall som störde harmonin i programmet.
It is going to be an extraordinary contest for this Olympic title. Let's take you a little nearer the medal contenders now and see the pair lying in 5th position after the technical program.
The champions of the Czech Republic, Radka Kovaříková and René Novotný, 4th in the last Olympic Games, 4th in last year's World Championship, 4th in the Europeans this year. Toe loop there to start. And unfortunately the flight through the air wasn't quite right, and so she almost landed on 2 feet there. Nice overhead twist lift. Double axel on the ice. Good. Nice spiral sequence that. Going down to a very good death spiral. Unique dismount from that overhead lift. They are indeed very graceful skaters. Really was a pity about those errors on the jumps, the 2-foot landing on the thrown jump and the fall out to the double axel, but for the rest of it, it was very nicely done. He moved around the ice very well.
And it's a very expressive program. Very well received. Interesting mixture of music. Verdi and the soundtrack of Jean de Florette. Started so well, the program, too. That was the double axel where she came to grief. She was able to hang on there. The earlier fault was in part down to him because she didn't get enough height when she landed with 2 feet. But as far as height, the overhead lifts are concerned and the placing of her back on the ice, absolutely together. One or two explanations. Elena Rodnina sitting at the end of the line. A lady who won everything at world and Olympic level, 3 Olympic Games with 2 different partners. And world champion from 69 up to 78. He looks very relaxed about it. Sometimes he can get a little tense, particularly when things have gone wrong. And for a big fella, he really is very artistic. Long delay. Here come the technical merit marks. Starting with the 5.4s, up to 5.5 from Canada, down to 5.3 from Belarus, and then 5.5s at the end from Russia and Australia. Well, there were errors there. They shouldn't be too displeased, I think, with those marks.
5.3, 5.4, 5.5, 5.5.
Artistic impression starts with 5.7. Picks up a couple of 5.6s and then a third from Canada. And the low 5.4.
Marks for artistic impression, 5.7, 5.6, 5.6.
He seems contented. She seems a little bit feeling what might have been in first place at the moment.
On the ice, representing the United States of America, Jenni, Meno, and Todd.
From the United States, Jenni, Meno, and Todd. Last year's Worlds, they finished 5th overall. At the moment, they're lying 6th after a really technical program. Very good twist lift to start. Double axel, double toe loop. Not a great deal of height, but they both came off excellently. As did that overhead lift. And double salto. That spin didn't seem to finish as it should have done. That was a long thrown double axel, beautifully landed. And they came back together nicely too. Wow, her head was only an inch or so off the ice then. That's a remarkable dismount. He fell off that double toe salcho. Certainly was a very exciting program. There were some quite unique movements amongst it. It's a pity about that one error on the double toe salcho, but lots of other things, and that's being spun around in the air with her head only inches off the ice. Haven't seen a move like that before. There were certainly some new moves in a program which has excited the audience as well it should, including Nancy Kerrigan.
Plenty of United States flags, as ever. Very enthusiastic about their ice skating in the whole of North America. And good reason to applaud a really good program. Just the one error on the double flip, toe salcho. Overhead, he's hugely confident. Lovely dismount. Thinking a lot about this one. And with great care and panache, nice position here in front of the judges. Hand-to-hand holds, causing no problem. Look at that. And a lovely glide onto the ice.
Karakterer for teknisk verdi 5,3, 5,6.
John Nix, British coach with them. Good marks, 5.6 from Ukraine, 5.6 from Canada, 5.6 from Australia.
Marks for technical merit 5.3.
Good technical merit marks.
5.4, 5.6, 5.4, 5.5.
We're in
5.6.
sixth position.
They
get 5 sevens for artistic impression from 3 judges, and that's moved them up at the moment. But of course it's the majority decision of all the judges at the end of the day, and you can see there's a variation there. 3 of the judges had them second at the moment, the rest had them in first.
Live at the Olympic venue in Hammer, they are preparing the ice for the final group. They will be on shortly. But we're now going to look back at what happened to the pair who skated just a few minutes ago, Mandy Voitzel and Ingo Steuer from Germany.
Oh, that was a very nasty fall. I wouldn't think that she'd be able to carry on. She fell flat on her chest, and I think she hit her chin as well. That was a very nasty fall indeed. Yes, I'm afraid that will be all we shall see of Mandy Voxel and Ingo Stoyer. He's done very well to take her off, but that indeed was a very, very nasty fall. And it looks as though she may have a cut on her chin, apart from the fact of hitting her chest.
Very, very sad scenes there. But now the final group are just completing their warm-up before the competition resumes in just a couple of moments, and the gold medal will be decided. So let's join now live our commentators, Alan Weeks. But first, Barry Davis, is there any news of Mandy Voitsel's condition?
Yes, there is indeed. She has recovered. She was very badly shaken up, and she's had to have some stitches in the wound on her chin. And I think it emphasised, Sue, just how dangerous this sport can be. We were applauding the American couple just before that, when she had her head so close to the ice. And then sadly for Mandy, she caught the toe pick of her right skate. That's what caused the problem. Anyway, the leading contenders, 2 Olympic champions and the world champions among them, are all set to start this final group, which will be opened, in fact, by the current world champions. Alan.
Canada, Isabelle Brasseur,
Thank you, Barry.
Lloyd Eisler.
Isabelle Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler in the big battle for medals. The 4 pairs we're going to see now are the top 4. 3 of them Russians, and here the Canadians. Isabelle and Lloyd were in 3rd place after the technical program. Very nicely controlled spins. Double axe with a start. Good one. Wow. A thrown twist in a lateral position. And a thrown triple salcho. What a start. Her spins, slow but marvellously controlled. The timing was brilliant. Great height on that thrown twist lift. And she held on to it, didn't put a hand down. Beautiful. Tempo revs up as they wind up for a fast finish. Double toe salto, double toe loop. And a death spiral that must wind it up. It does. Isabelle Brasseur, Lloyd Eisler, world champions of 1993. Third after the technical program, and they're putting the best that they've done. One minor, very minor effort in terms of keeping her hand off the ice, but for the rest of it, it was very artistic indeed. And the flowers are floating onto the ice, as has a Canadian flag on one stage. And there was Mr. Lloyd Eisler, Lloyd's father, and there's his cap. His cap came on, and Lloyd now wearing it. A tremendous reception, and of course, the Canadian fans, as always, with those maple leaf flags, supporting their pair, who have a tremendous job on their hands to stay in there.
Well, you would never have guessed it, but they've been having problems all week. She's had bruised ribs, which makes those twist lifts in particular very difficult. Everything went for her, and everything went for him. Started with the axles here, a double axle. She was really pleased to land that, because that has caused her problems in the past. And now the throne jump, which she just held on to. It was a loop. Change of style from how they first came into skating at world level. He's had a number of different partners. He used to like the rather bouncy quick pieces. This was much more artistic, which in many respects is very demanding for him, but he shows his strength beautifully there. And again, as they land, she's put onto a good edge. His leg comes up at the same time as hers. Timing was good. 5'8" and 5'8", two of them. One from Belarus, one from Australia. They know that they've done their best, these two, and more you cannot ask.
Marks for technical merit, 5'6", 5'7",
Canadian judge who put them first in the technical program, not giving them the highest mark. Low point from Czechoslovakia. Now what about the artistic impression? 5'7", 5'8", 3 5'7s, the rest are 5'8s. Clearly new leaders right across the board. The judges in unison. The world champions lead. Those are the order north of positions. The judges place them. They're happy. And now from world champions on the ice, the reigning Olympic champions.
Russia, Natalia Mishkutenok and Artur Dmitriev.
Natalia Mishkutenok, Artur Dmitriev, as Mary said, Olympic gold medalists in 1992. They were bronze medalists in the Europeans this year. At the moment, After the technical program, they were lying second. Toe Salchow, a good start. And very high at triple twist lift. All happening. The double axel. Followed by double toe loop. And good timing on that spin. How low that death spiral is. Beautifully held in a lovely position by Natalia. And look at that. That was a thrown Salchow. Triple. And that was a quite unique move too. Artistically as well as athletically, they are performing marvelously. Marvelous spin. That was quite a remarkable program by Natalia Mishkutenok and Artur Dmitriev. You can see the feeling. And the feeling was there from the moment they started skating. All the moves were good. Artistically, it was very well presented. And now one has to think about how it's all going to happen, because the Canadians have set the scene. Mishkutenok and Dmitriev here, of course, were ahead of the Canadians after the technical program. So it's going to be interesting to see whether they hold on to that position or whether Brasseur and Eisler can come through. But that was a marvellous program to watch.
They have a special intensity on the ice, these two. Lovely performance to Rachmaninoff's second piano concerto. Everything that they did came off together. The thrown jumps came off. The lifts, one of which let them down in the European Championship. Different style. He finds it perhaps slightly easier to go with the music on the dismount than Lloyd Eisler does. And then the combination spin here. He really didn't want to turn professional after the Olympic success. Tamara Mospina, their coach. But they did. Now they have the chance to come back, of course. Here they are, 2 5.9s. There were no 5.9s for Lloyd Eisler and Isabelle Brasseur. They only had 2 5.8s for the technical merit marks.
5.8, 5.9, 5.8, 5.8, 5.7.
These two were in second place, so they're likely to go into the lead. They're certainly with the 5.9s there coming up, as opposed to 6 5.8s for the Canadians. But there's room there for the Russian pair who preceded them onto first place on the Olympic rostrum. And they will be next to skate.
On the ice, representing Russia, Ekaterina Gordeeva and Sergei Grinkov.
Two of the all-time great pair skaters, Ekaterina Gordeeva and Sergei Grinkov. You'll remember them winning their Olympic gold in 1988. Then they came back this year and won the Europeans, and after the technical program, they were in the lead. Their style is brilliant. Great height on that twist lift. That one hand overhead lift. Again, neat dismount. A thrown double axel. Very long one. Thrown triple Salchow. Again, artistry coming into the program. beautifully controlled spiral. Look how long it was. And he fell off that jump, but he recovered very quickly. Very good overhead lift. Step sequence, timing, very good. A brilliant overhead lift to finish. The program was beautifully skated. One very small error on one of the landing of his jumps, but it's going to be very, very close indeed. It really is. They have fine style and they interpreted the music excellently. Remembering that in 1990 they were European and world champions and then went professional. Now they've come back and they're looking ahead to see where they're going to finish.
Well, for me, they have it on the quality of their edges. Different style from their compatriots, rather more open, fresh, not so intense. But everything was beautifully together. Just the one problem that he had, that's the side-by-side double axel. That's where he had the problem. Toe loop that followed. How easy he makes the lift look, and most of the push-up is with strength needed in the one arm, and then he holds her with one arm. Wasn't the most flowing of the edges, but I can't remember another where she had a problem. Technical merit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.9s. Exactly the same as in the European, I beg your pardon, 6 5.9s. Better than in Europe.
5.9,
Don't think there's any doubt. Tatiana Tarasova. question is whether there will be sixes. There is one from Russia. One judge out of accord with the others is the judge from Belarus.
On the ice representing Russia, Evgenia Shishkova and Vadim Naumov.
The last skaters in this Olympic pair skating championship. Evgenia Shishkova, Vadim Naumov. They were in 4th place after the technical. They were silver medalists in the Europeans in Copenhagen. They just emphasized the power of pair skating in Russia. And that's a pretty good example to start with. Moving around the ice very fast. It's an excellent overhead lift. Double axles. Certainly interpreting the music, aren't they? The timing on that spin. Excellent. That was a novel lift, certainly. Toe loop. Couple of loops. And Salko. This program is skated at quite a fast rate of knots. Well, life isn't upside down for them because they did very well indeed. As with the other Russian competitors, they've all had a different style. They haven't all been exactly the same. And that's what's good about the pair skating in Russia. These two from St. Petersburg, well, they've had great success. They're going to have to do very well, of course, to get in amongst the medals this time because they were in 4th place after the technical program.
The battle is certainly for the bronze medal. And the double thrown jump. Variation, as you said, Alan, we went from Rachmaninoff to Beethoven, and now to Die Fledermaus, the bat by Johann Strauss. Took a nice fulcral position. Moved the toe pick, he mustn't do that. Stayed firmly in the ice. The contest is for the bronze medal between two pairs who, but for the fact that the rules were changed and the Olympic champions were allowed to return, it would have been a contest for the gold. Isabelle, Brasseur and Lloyd Eisler had 2 5/8s and 5 5/7s. Just the 1 5/8 and a 5/5 from both the United States and from Australia. It looks as though the Canadians are going to stop a clean sweep by Russia. Artistic impression would be decisive. They had 6 5.8s, not enough. They have 5 5.8s. They're up from their position of the last Olympic Games where they finished 5th, but they are not on the winner's rostrum. Finish in 4th place, although as you can see 4 of the judges have them 3rd, but it's the majority who decide. Jackie Soames and John Jenkins down in 15th place.
This concludes the
confirmation of the result. Victory for the Olympic champions of 1988 over the Olympic champions of 1992. Ekaterina Gordeeva and Sergei Grinkov, husband and wife team, are the Olympic champions of 1994. Shishkova and Naumov in 4th, the leading Americans in 5th, and the couple from the Czech Republic in 6th. And as I said, Soames and Jenkins of Great Britain are in 15th place.
All I can say, Steve, I'm glad I'm not a judge because I couldn't pick any difference between those 3 couples. All I can say is the style and elegance of Gordeeva and Grinkov, you know, was superb.
The thing that struck me in that competition was the physical perils as much as the grace, flashing skates, heads brushing the ice. Interesting contest. We'll be back live.